of all time. I'm a big REO Speedwagon fan. I've seen them probably about 5 times in concert. I think I've seen them more than any other band
Wow.
that I've ever seen.
Wow.
So REO Speedwagon is one of the best
One
that
of.
I believe. One of.
One of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What bands do you
I
like?
tell you, I'm an ACDC guy.
Huh?
I like ACDC.
Do you have a favorite ACDC song, or is it
No, no, not really. I
no,
uh,
just like ACDC?
yeah, Journey was one of them. Like Journey too.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
Sticks.
38 Special.
Oh, I've seen them a few times.
Yeah. Um,
Skinner, I've seen them a couple of times.
yeah, seen them once when they first came out.
Saw Heart twice.
Never saw them.
They were they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw Ozzy.
I never saw Ozzy.
He was at the New Haven Coliseum many, many, many years ago.
There is no more New Haven Coliseum.
I know it's gone. Yeah.
It's all gone.
Yeah.
Saw, but I've seen so many people in concert, and
Yeah.
not exactly the same genre or anything.
Yeah.
Like saw Michael Bublé, incredible show. Michael Bublé did this thing, which was amazing. And of course, if we want to talk cancel culture real quick, we were talking about it yesterday, and I said, Michael Bublé, it's kind of like my man crush, I guess you could say, right? And of course, what's the first thing I hear? Oh, you mean the woman beating Michael Bublé?
Oh boy.
And I went, no, the musician Michael Bublé.
Yeah.
He did this thing that was up on stage, and he's singing along with a song. It was the last song of the night, and then he kept going, shh, telling the crowd to die down. And then he started doing it to the orchestra to the point where there was nobody playing. He was singing a cappella with a microphone.
Yeah.
And then he turned the microphone off, covered one ear, and his voice filled up the arena.
Wow.
It was amazing. It was a really good show. It's probably one of the best shows that I'd ever seen. And here's another show that I think is one of the best, and people will laugh at me. Barry Manilow.
Oh,
because the guy's a showman.
Oh, he is.
So he puts on a wonderful show.
Yeah.
He's had so many hits, from the 70s, 80s, 90s, on up. Yeah. And that place was rocking, when he did, because everybody knows Copacabana.
Oh yeah,
everybody knows it. So of course, there are people in their 20s that are singing at the Copacabana.
Oh yeah. That's yes. Yeah, he was around when I was growing up, and not when I grew up. When I was middle aged. I saw Elvis.
Well, thank you.
Saw Elvis in concert.
Well, Paul, I want to thank you for coming on down and visiting me over there in rock and roll heaven. You know what I mean?
I saw Elvis in Hartford when he just was probably about 3 or 4 months.
I don't remember it. I was probably
before he died.
He
was real heavy when I saw.
I was probably eating a jelly donut.
Paul Anker. Saw Paul Anker.
Having my baby. Yeah. What a lovely way to say how much you love me.
You try to be like Elvis. He's left the building.
Elvis has left. They used to do that,
Yeah, they did.
They would literally say that because people would be going on and on and on about Elvis, being there, thinking that he was going to come out for an encore.
Nope.
And what happened? No, Elvis has left the building, and people would wait for that before they would actually file out.
Yeah.
So Elvis was I can remember one time when I was like 9 years old. We had to sit and watch the TV as Elvis did his whole what was that one from Vegas?
Viva La Vegas.
Yeah, it was a TV special that he did.
Yeah.
So he came out and did that. So
yeah. He did that Blue Hawaii thing too. The Hawaiian thing he did was pretty good.
What do you mean?
He had a concert from Hawaii when he was younger. Yeah. So, yeah. hmm But nobody else, he was a good ballad
I don't
singer.
remember that.
No, he was a good ballad singer.
Elvis.
Absolutely.
My mother was nuts over Elvis.
Yeah.
I remember getting getting into an argument with my mother and my grandmother, and my grandmother would say, "No, Eddie Fisher was the best." I'm like, "Well, who did you like, Michael?" I said, "I don't know. I wasn't even alive."
Yeah. Eddie Fisher was pretty popular until he.
Was he more of a country?
No.
No, see,
No.
I don't know.
Yeah. But once he divorced Debbie Reynolds, and then married Liz Taylor, that was the end of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that kind of like put the kibosh on him.
The kibosh. The kibosh.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the end of him.
Oh, goodness. So Griswold has a meeting tomorrow night, another special meeting for the Board of Finance, speaking to the cost overruns for the Griswold Senior Center.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Not only that, but Plainfield has a town meeting tonight.
Oh.
They have a town meeting about it's a lot. They're looking for a line item transfer of it's north of $108,000 for town police upgrades, communication upgrades.
That was in the paper.
Yeah, God forbid something's in the paper.
There was something in the paper. I don't know.
This is how ridiculous the paper is, God. Okay, the paper.
Yeah.
There was a headline the other day. Pawcatuck resident uses stimulus to pay bills and rent.
Isn't that what it was for?
And I'm like, thank you, Captain Obvious.
Oof.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that was.
Come on, how ridiculous is that?
So that's a great headline, folks. So good on you, paper.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the special meeting for the town of Plainfield tonight, it's at 7:00. It is at Town Hall on Community Avenue in Plainfield. And like I said, they want to do a line item transfer. And the reason why they're being able to afforded to do this is because some of the stimulus package money that is going to towns.
I don't know how much the town of Griswold got.
90
million? No, 900,000.
What?
9,000?
No.
What do they get? 900,000?
You know, I'm almost want to think 1.4.
I don't know. What are they going to do with it?
I got the whole list. I got the whole list for every town in Connecticut was sent to me. Yeah. And I want to say it was like 1.4 million.
What are they going to do with it?
You know, I had reached out to Eric Christensen, who's the town finance director here in Griswold.
Yeah.
He did get back to me.
He did.
He absolutely did. I wasn't available to take his call, but once that happened, I didn't get a chance. We haven't connected yet.
Be curious what they're going to do with it.
I bet you won't be the senior center.
I bet you won't either.
Yeah. I put out a question, on our social media pages, which was kind of, I don't know, it was a little bit. I guess I was not happy with the response because there are lots of people that have lots to say about the cost overruns for the Griswold Senior Center. Whether you do it on social media. So I offered a platform where you would be completely anonymous. I think you got like 4 people.
That's it.
That was it. And it's like, well, I guess it's not that big of a problem then. Yeah. I guess it's just not that big of an issue because there really weren't people that responded at all. And it was a text message. It wasn't anything about, on Facebook or it was an actual text message. Let me see what I got here. 3 people. One person just flat out said no.
Really?
Yeah. Another person, I would vote no for the extra money for the senior center. They need to make cuts to their budget.
Oh, well, turn around and say we're going to do a cut bust.
And
some people just got no freaking brains.
And then one was emphatic. No, There's no reason to be almost $1 million over budget. That is simply irresponsible. The person that is in charge of this decision needs to be fired immediately.
Yeah. Sure.
Yes, we need a new senior center. No reason for the price tag. It's also ridiculous that the recreation department can't use this building at nighttime. The regulations on the grant is outdated and very poorly thought out. You were right.
Yeah. I try to be honest with you, those are asinine.
What's that?
I mean, the youth center, they have a youth center.
Yeah.
They got it. Why would you want to? I mean, yes, is there a benefit of having young kids work in the senior center with kids, with the adults? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we all know that the building was put there for the seniors, not necessarily to have it be destroyed, because kids can destroy the building.
Yeah.
We don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Bill says, but people would rather hear about Joe Smuckatelli bought 2 cases of cigarettes and 1 case of bourbon with 3 bags of Fritos. News at 11.
Yeah. He's right. I mean, it's ridiculous how some people feel, you know.
I think some people like to go ahead and splurge on social media because they think that, you know,
to get away
they
with
got
it.
something to say. Like they thought they did something there.
Yeah, they get away with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I actually put out a dedicated text number that was completely anonymous about how people felt about it.
Yeah.
So I think when people write it up on social media, they want people to know who it was. They just don't want to answer to any of the questions or the responses.
Yeah.
It's their little 5 minutes of fame.
It will be a damn shame if it doesn't get finished. That'll be a shame. I mean, waste of money. Think about it. That's a lot of money to sit there and rot.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of money.
That's why I don't think there's going to be any chance that this building does not get finished.
Yeah. I hope it does. I mean, I hate to see it just sit there because let's face it, we're going to have to pay maintenance on it for the next how many years for nothing.
Yeah.
And you got to heat it. You got to do everything to it to keep it up, you know?
So that's why, I mean, at least at down in Plainfield, you know, what they're doing is like they want to do police upgrades or communication upgrades. So they're telling the town, this is what we want to use the stimulus money for, you know, and now we're going to have a town meeting. Do you want it to happen? So we can transfer the money from one line to the police department so they can use it. Us here in Griswold, it's like, okay, we're $900,000 over budget. What are we going to do? They, you know, how many special meetings have the Board of Finance had now? 3? But another one tomorrow night.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, right? 4 they had 3, 4. You were
Jim. You were how many have they had? Do you know?
Yeah.
I'm not absolutely positive. I think 3. I think. Why was there another one? Just
well, there's one tomorrow night.
Yeah,
there is one tomorrow night. So
well, hopefully they
that may be the 4th one.
Hopefully they came back with the list of stuff they were looking for to find out what, you know, because that's what they were looking for.
Right.
What's the agenda for tomorrow night?
But tomorrow night is a special meeting for the cost overruns for the senior center.
Okay, it's specific for the cost overruns for the senior center. Okay,
and on the 8th they have another special meeting for just the town budget.
Now they were supposed to go back and look at the list and we need this. No, we don't need this. Yes, we need. Did they do that? I wonder.
Yeah, they did,
but I don't think they got the answers that they wanted. They didn't get complete answers. That's why they keep having these special meetings.
There was a meeting. You know, I lost track of the days because last week was a total disaster for us. But I couldn't make it. I was up in Massachusetts on something considerably more important than that.
Well, of course.
When it comes to health of family members, that takes precedence over everything. So I don't truly know what happened at that meeting the other night.
Hopefully something happened.
I don't know if that was Thursday night or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope they come to some kind of agreement and we get this damn thing done. You know.
All right. So Leah says, I honestly feel that the seniors in this town have been paying taxes for years. They deserve every penny they put into the center, and they can enjoy.
Yeah.
Without them, Griswold wouldn't be Griswold.
Plus,
So-
they continue to pay. Keep in mind that the seniors not only paid for a lot of the buildings, especially the schools now, keep that in mind. They're continuing to pay. You know,
So I want to take this statement, kind of apart here and look at each part of it, because Leah says, I honestly feel that the seniors in this town have been paying taxes for years. They have.
they have.
We know that more than me.
Yes.
They've been here longer than I have.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we agree on that. They deserve every penny they put into a center that they can enjoy. Okay. You're right. They deserve it. They deserve every penny they put in it.
Correct.
But the question is do they deserve every penny that all the other residents will be putting into it as well?
Well, it's payback, because the other residents are using the facilities that these seniors built for them. Look at the school complex.
You went exactly where I was going to go.
They built that school complex.
Yep.
These younger people now are taking advantage of that school complex that these seniors built.
Well, no, hold on. They're not taking advantage of it. Well, I think what you're saying is that they should now go ahead and pay back and go ahead and build
Yeah,
it.
because
It's tit for tat.
it's part of being a person in the community. You pay, Mike, I think only one of my kids went to one of the schools here.
Mhm.
Never went to all the schools
Yeah.
here, and I paid taxes for how many years? What do I get out of it?
Yeah.
Nothing. Think about it. I get nothing out of this town other than pay taxes.
None of my kids, 0 of my children have gone to a Griswold school classroom.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I mean, you get nothing. There's what do we get? Yeah, they snowplow, they plow the roads and things like that. I guess that's what we pay for, I guess.
But the way I look at it is that I have 3 children. One of them that is in 8th grade. The other 2 are out of the school systems, right?
Right.
Totally different towns, not Griswold at all. Well, I am not paying taxes in those other communities
You're paying it here.
that my kids are going to school for,
Yeah.
or did go to school in.
Yeah.
I had one that went right through the Plainfield school system,
Yeah.
grammar school, middle school, high school.
Yeah.
I never lived in Plainfield. I never paid $1 in tax to Plainfield, but they educated my daughter.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a revolving door, because these younger people now who are complaining about giving money, well, they're eventually going to get older. There's going to be some other projects that's going to come up in this town that's going to benefit a younger generation.
Yep.
And they're the ones that are going to pay for it. They're going to be saying the same damn thing. Why the hell do I got to pay for this generation to get this such and such? Now that I'm older, I'm not getting any benefit out of it.
right.
It's a revolving door. It just keeps
Exactly.
moving and moving, moving. It's part of living in a community.
And like whenever the school came up with something, I would hear seniors that would complain
Of
about
course.
that. So it's like I said, it's tit for tat.
Yeah.
And Scott Davis, who I respect 150% of pretty much everything that he says. I don't care if he's a Democrat,
Yeah.
but he's just a smart man. These are all examples of investments in our community.
Exactly.
End of story. That's the way that it is.
Exactly.
So do we finish it? If you were asking me, I'm saying yes.
I'm saying yes.
I think you do it.
Yeah.
I think forget the fact that the seniors deserve it. Forget that fact. If we don't finish it, there's a building that is just going to sit there that as you said, you have to pay the upkeep on, you have to keep it maintained,
Right.
or whatever, in case. Finish it.
Absolutely.
Just finish it.
I just hope the people in this town agree to get this thing done.
There's a rainy day fund in Griswold, or the general the general fund, right?
Right.
There's money in there to
Take
do
it
it.
out. Take
So
it out.
exactly.
Pay for it. Because
Do,
eventually you'll make that money back again anyway. Think about it.
I know.
Look,
I know.
something's going to happen in town where we're going to get, Economic development is eventually going to show up.
Sorry, Jim.
Right?
By the way,
part of
Jim
that-
Barney is
Paul's part of that committee too.
I am part of that
I know.
committee, but it's eventually going to show up. We'll get this money back.
I just want to say Jim Barney is here with us as well. He's not on camera, so but you'll be able to hear.
We'll
him,
get the
so.
money back.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, there's a fundamental problem with the way we do things, okay? And I don't know, I don't have any answers to it. But I mean, the people that are going to pay these bills, some of them aren't even born yet.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether we're taking a 20-year or a 30-year bond on the senior center. Oh, it doesn't matter whether senior
I think
center or
it's 30,
schools.
but Scott, if you're still there, if you could answer that question, is it a 20 or 30-year bond? Okay, Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there was certainly some data about it because discussion about it because I mean, if you run it out for 30 years, you're going to be paying a heck of a lot more on the
Oh, yeah.
overall
Sure,
picture
sure,
than 20.
Yeah.
Okay, and you talk about the rainy day fund. All right, well, every town has a rainy day fund, and the question is, if you take the money out of the rainy day fund, do you then increase the taxes over a 5-year period, let's say, to replace that money that was taken from the rainy day fund? And if you don't replace it, that can affect your bond rating. Okay.
Well, apparently,
So then your cost of bonding is going to be higher for future projects. So it's a catch-22.
but from what I understand, there's enough money in the rainy day fund that they can fund the rest of this project that will not affect their credit rating.
That I have not. I mean, I can't remember what
Yeah.
the number is. About 4.5 million. I don't know if Scott's
Oh.
still there. He probably got it in his head. I don't have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was higher than that.
Oh yeah, it's like what,
I thought it was like 12 or 13 at the end.
Percent.
something like that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not
but
what
if you
I didn't say percent. I said
No, but if you've got 15 million,
I didn't say you got 15 million.
no, or he doesn't recall the terms if it's 20 or 30. But yeah, I heard the general fund's got about $15 million in it. So what's 12% of that?
12% would, well, 10%.
1.8.
1.5 would be 10%.
Right. So
I don't think that number's correct, but I'm not sure. I'm not keeping that close a track on it anymore.
So anyway, the money's there. So do they use that? But one of the things the Board of Finance said is that we are not going to allocate any money at all, or that number, that amount, without going to a referendum.
Well, I think the ordinances in the town it require that. If you're gonna make a commitment of over $50,000, you have to go to referendum for it.
But we don't do that.
Yes, we do.
Oh yeah, we do.
Everything? $50,000?
Anything that's over $50,000, yeah.
I don't know what we bought over 50.
No, I know.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I think there was a line item transfer a few years ago of like $90,000 that didn't go to referendum. They just did it at the Board of Selectmen meeting.
Well, that may have been money that was already appropriated, and they may have moved it. I don't know. But if the money hasn't been appropriated,
I don't know. It's surprising to me for a $50,000 expenditure. You got to get the town to vote on it. That shocks me.
why?
I mean, you would think that a $50,000, somebody in the town would have the authority to sign the check.
The only one that's paying the bills are the taxpayers, and they should have the right to vote on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Oh no! I'm all for a referendum.
I
And
just
putting it out to.
never heard of one for 50,000.
Huh?
I never heard of one for 50,000. If I wanted to buy a piece of equipment for $50,000, you mean to tell me I'm going to have to download that? I don't think so. I just think somebody would sign the check.
Okay.
I mean, certain levels of management have a certain authority to sign a bottom line budget number.
Mhm.
I mean, I think when I was a manager, I think I could do $25,000 or $30,000 when I was, because I could authorize an expenditure for that kind of money. As it goes up in higher authority. So I would think that the finance guy would have some kind of authority to sign some check for some level amount of money. I mean, that's
Got it.
if you think about business, that's the way it works.
Sure.
So
that's tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Bill says Plainfield does it. It's in the bylaws, which I think is evident because they're having a town meeting tonight.
Yeah.
to move $108,000 from, as a line item transfer. Well, like I said, that money came from stimulus money.
Yeah.
Well, now you've raised
From the
another
federal
interesting question because you said a town meeting as opposed to a referendum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway. So
Cindy says after this crazy business, the people are going to be looking for a lot more transparency. I think you can ask for it, but I don't think you're going to get it.
No.
I don't think you're going to get it.
I don't think so either.
I don't think you're going to get any more
You're going to
than
get
you
less.
get right now. You think it'll get less?
You're going to get less.
Okay.
I mean, everything is headed in that direction.
Yeah.
Look at the federal government. Look at the state government.
Yeah.
True.
I've said for many, many years, you want to make changes, it starts with you and me. Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
And you have to move it. And it has to start at the local level. You're not going to certainly start at the state level or at the
No.
federal level because you got no input whatsoever.
No, you're right.
But you can drive local.
You can.
We've talked about that on numerous occasions.
Yes.
If you want to make some sort of an impact, do it on the local level.
Right.
There's not a whole lot we can do on the federal level, if anything at
No,
all.
there's nothing we can do in federal. They're going to do what they want anyway.
Bill says in Plainfield, over $50,000 goes to a town vote at a selectman meeting, i.e. town meeting, especially in the winter when you need money for more sand. So there you go.
But if they,
So their limit is $50K
50K. So
in Plainfield.
But I don't know. What we telling me we haven't made any expenditures over $50,000?
I don't really remember any in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, but he said salt. So
no, I'm talking about that it hasn't already been allocated or put in the budget.
Well, it's an interesting one that happened a few years ago. And that was one of our town trucks got wrecked in a snowstorm. And there was an emergency, to get that truck replaced.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they needed, it was like $100,000.
It was $175,000.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Now I am not sure what the process was to get that done.
I don't remember voting on it. Do you?
I do remember something about it. Yes.
Voting?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do.
Maybe of course my memory.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there because
because my memory.
There are provisions for emergencies also,
Yeah.
and in the middle of the winter, that was considered an emergency.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. So much we know about town government.
Well, there's so many nuances, Paul.
I know. I mean, when you work in the business world, and now you go back into the government side of it, you kind of like say, oh, okay, I'm not sure if it's the same. You would think it would be run like a business.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah. Well, that's
I
true.
mean, look at how long it takes to get something done, and if government is involved
Forever.
as an independent contractor or
Yeah,
whatever.
you're right. It takes forever.
I just make the decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I hear you.
So I want to switch gears and talk about another story that affects the town of Sterling and us here in Griswold, kind of indirectly, but there's a family or a mom who lives in Sterling. I think she has 3 or 4 kids. At the latest Sterling Board of Selectmen meeting, or Board of Education meeting, they were told that the mother was told that her children were no longer allowed to go to Sterling Public Schools. The reason was because they believe that these children are actually Griswold residents.
Ooh.
And the mother and the father are separated. Dad lives in Griswold. Mom lives in Sterling. Mom and the kids, and I was talking to her, and I said, do you all have residency in the town of Sterling? She goes, yes. She goes, I even own a small business in the town of Sterling. And I said, so where is the Griswold connection? And she says, because the kid's father, she said, we are currently separated. And I'm not going to mention their names,
of
because
course
that's
not.
not really important.
No.
but lives in a townhouse here in the town of Griswold. The kids spend the weekends there, and I guess the way she put it is she also does as well. So for whatever their reasons are, so they're all together on the weekends in Griswold. Well, the Board of Education in Sterling hired a private investigator.
Wow.
And trailed them. Took pictures and whatever. And their answer was that, or their suggestion or recommendation to the Board of Education is that these kids are Griswold residents and not Sterling residents.
Wow.
Well, that's an interesting question, and I mean, and this goes on all.
The mother and the kids all have residency set up in Sterling, as the mother lives with her mother. So it's a very interesting situation. It's sad because the kids, they just want to go to school. Anyway, you were going to say, Jim. Sorry.
Yeah, and that game is played all the time. Okay, it doesn't matter what town or city you're in. That game is played, and of course, I mean, I can see why the Board of Education is doing it. I mean, what's the average cost of educating a student? $12,000
I think is the number they put on it. Yeah.
Okay, in Sterling. Okay, so 12,000, three kids.
Griswold. I don't know what Sterling's number is.
And it's probably in the same ballpark. Mm-hmm. All right, so 3 kids at 12,000, $36,000 a year. Okay, so you can see why the town would have a concern. I mean, Griswold has concerns about those kinds of issues also going in the other direction. But I mean, I would think that if the mother is living in her registered domicile is in Sterling, and her kids are living with her the majority of the time. Okay. Mm-hmm. I would think that the Sterling Board of Education will lose that case in court. But I am not a lawyer, and I never.
No, I kind of agree with you, Jim, because I'm sure there are people here in Griswold who are separated, and they have dual custody, where
they are not. That's another key piece. They are not, quote unquote, legally separated.
I don't know that they have to be, do they?
I don't know.
Well, what does legal separation?
But I just wanted to throw that out there. This is just information that was given to me.
What does legal separation mean? Does that mean you have a special paper from a lawyer?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
It probably means you've been to court and the judge has
you're in litigation.
But going back to my point is that there are probably people living here in Griswold that are separated, maybe not legally separated, and you have joint custody. This weekend the kid goes over here, the next weekend the kid goes over there. So it happens all the time. It's the way of the world today. I mean, why are they penalized? I am shocked that they even hired a private investigator to go.
They did.
To go look into this thing.
I guess in retrospect, I'm not shocked, Paul.
You're not shocked.
No.
I'm not shocked either. I think it's dirty pool.
I agree with you.
I do.
They have something off with this person. Somebody's got a vendetta against this person for some reason.
I asked her. I said, "Do you have any beef with any more member of the Board of Education?" She goes, "I've never met any of them."
Wow. Well, somebody squealed.
I said, "Do you have any beef with anybody on the Sterling Board of Selectmen?" And unfortunately, the Board of Selectmen, the first selectman passed away, Russell Gray.
Yeah.
Just a few months ago.
Yeah.
So she said no.
Somebody's done something. I don't know.
Okay, but I go back to a fundamental premise in my own head. Okay, and that is, if you're going to have a rule or if you're going to have a law, enforce it. If you don't enforce it, take it off the books and do away with it.
You're right. I mean, if the kids are living in Griswold, you're right. They should be. That's the law. I mean, that's what are you going to do? But I'm just shocked that.
Well, one thing that the mother did not tell me is, and I did not ask, is, are the kids staying past the weekend sometimes with their father, and he's driving them to their the school
School.
in Sterling. You know, there's got to be some reason why the special investigator or the private investigator said that he believes or she believes that the kids are Griswold residents.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, was there a week or something, or where the kids are here? Who knows?
Well, I mean, and
You know?
that could be that could be a reasonable accommodation. I mean, let's say the mom was sick and so the kids stayed with the father for a week and
Sure.
were driven back and forth. Does that mean you take them out of the Sterling school system?
And
I
that
don't
is
think
very
so.
possible, especially with us in COVID-19.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
possible the
Yeah,
mom
you're
could be
right.
sick, could have been quarantined for 2 weeks. Did the kids have to stay at the Griswold house with their father because of that?
Yeah, it's
Or maybe the
possible.
grandmother did.
Yeah, that's true.
So there are lots of variables.
Sure.
Yep.
You know, let's see. Cindy has a comment. Most lawyers will highly suggest the couple make a choice of who will have primary residence with the children for just this type of situation. We, meaning I guess her and her ex, were told that we were told that if not, it has become an issue before or between school systems in the past.
I mean, I know in industry, okay, in one of the divisions I worked in, we had a person that claimed workers' comp, okay, for some injury purportedly received there. Well, our health and safety manager at that particular time thought there was funny business going on, for instance, so that the company did hire a private investigator, and they followed this guy, and here he is. He can't do any work, but yet he can carry 2 heavy suitcases to the airport to get on a plane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't do my job, but
I mean, yeah,
so
no,
you
I
see
get-
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's just surprising that a small town such as Sterling is, you know, it's just shocking to hear that they did that.
But if the money has already been allocated for the school year for these kids to go to that school,
Yeah.
with all of the special accommodations that are being given, especially with, again, COVID-19, why is this an issue?
I don't know.
This is not a new issue, Mike.
No.
I mean,
I'm not saying that it is.
It's happened right here in Griswold.
Sure.
I mean, if the school board in Griswold finds out that you really are living someplace else and you're going to Griswold schools, they're going to take and make an issue of it, and rightly so.
Sure, but the discussion is not whether or not it's a new issue. We know it's not a new issue. But let's look at, you got to look at both sides of the situation here.
Yeah.
What happens if Griswold now finds that these kids really belong to Sterling?
Yeah.
Where do they go to school?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, see, that leads into. I'm going to digress from this discussion just a minute here, because that leads into another interesting aspect of education. The Connecticut Constitution guarantees a free public education to every student. All right.
Yeah.
So now let's say they demand that you have to have a vaccine before you can go to public school. Now we got a real constitutional issue here, because the Constitution of Connecticut says every student is entitled to a free education. So if you're not going to let my kids go to school because I'm not going to have them vaccinated, are you going to pay to send them to school somewhere?
Right, but the question is now is Griswold going to say, okay, well, we're not going to accept these kids because we believe that they're Sterling students. So sans the vaccination, let's just look at it like, where these kids are going to go to school if both school districts. Now, Griswold, I don't know what Griswold's doing or not, so I have not talked to Mr. McKenna, or so, I don't want you to think that I'm putting any kind of like blame in their lap or anything. But what happens if that does proceed where Griswold says, nope, they should be going to Sterling? In the meantime, these kids are going to be like, oh, where the hell am I going to school?
We don't know the whole story.
Well,
of
that's-
course.
yeah,
We do not.
We're hearing
We
one
do
side
not.
of it, and we don't know what Sterling's issue is. So, we're
Yeah.
just figuring.
The only thing that I know, other than what the mother has told me, is that there was a special meeting of the Board of Education. They went into executive session. Which included the parents.
Yeah.
And they came out of executive session, and it was decided based on the PI's recommendation that the kids do not live in Sterling, yet they live in Griswold.
Well, there's got to be something that's making them say they live in Griswold.
So now let's back out and get out of that conversation
Sure.
for a minute and talk about what Jim was talking about as far as the vaccinations. That's another issue right there, because there's been talk of them putting the vaccinations within schools. Or you actually
they are doing some vaccination inside some schools already, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and to Jim's point, he's saying that the Constitution says that you are, you know, allowed to or you know, entitled to a free public education.
That's fine.
Period.
I mean, think of that before the COVID thing. They were looking for kids to get vaccinated before. Remember, we did this whole thing that went on a couple of years ago with the vaccination thing. You know, they wanted parents to have their kids vaccinated.
Mhm.
Oh, big issue. You know,
Right.
so
Well,
there you
one
go.
of the questions that comes up, and I don't remember the data at this particular point, but how many vaccine injuries are occurring to protect one person?
Hmm.
And that number is fairly large. Okay.
Explain.
I don't know how to explain any more than I just did. I mean, vaccines are not totally safe.
Okay.
Okay. Do you concede that?
I don't.
And I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm what I call a smart vaxxer. There's a limit to how much vaccine anybody should have.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest with you. I mean, do I think every vaccine is safe? I don't know. I've never had a problem personally with any vaccine that I've taken.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to say every vaccine, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to answer that like that. So I don't know.
I mean, we got it when we were kids. We got smallpox. We got
Polio.
measles,
Yeah, but
polio.
Paul,
mumps.
when you and I were children,
Yeah.
okay, and I'm a little older than you are,
Yeah.
because you were here for the Civil War, I was here for the Revolutionary War.
Correct.
We had, including boosters, we had something like about 7 jabs.
Yeah, it wasn't a
Okay.
lot. It wasn't a lot.
You know what the recommended numbers are now that I see? Somewhere in between 60s and the high 70s.
That's a lot. That's
Okay.
a lot.
That's how many vaccines our kids are getting whacked with.
Yeah, I would certainly question that myself.
I don't think any of my kids have had that many
No.
jabs.
Never had that many.
You know, they've had their shots from their babies and their
That's it.
boosters. And
That's it. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
I'm doing is repeating
Yeah.
information that I have read numerous places,
Yeah.
numerous times.
I don't think I've ever had a. No, I think I did. I think in 3rd grade I had a shot. I got jabbed in the school, but that was it.
Probably the last vaccine I had was the polio vaccine, which
Yeah.
was what, about 1950, early
60s. Yeah.
no,
Early
it was
50s.
50s, and I think.
Yeah. 50s.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, I stepped on a rusty nail about
Well, that's
5 years ago, and I
the-
went
the
and I
whole
got
thing
a
is-
tetanus shot.
Tetanus.
Okay?
Well,
Yeah.
tetanus shot. Yeah. I mean, that's smart to get that. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
It's a risk.
That's not really a vaccine.
No.
That's a preventative thing.
Yeah. I
don't
mean,
look at that.
it's all about risk reward.
It's like shingles. That's a preventative.
Well,
It's an
Yeah, if
elective.
you want to get it. No, I never got the shingles vaccine.
Now I got shingles. I had shingles, and I had it for, I don't know, it was about a week and a half, and that was nasty shit. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Have you ever had it?
no,
Whoa.
fortunately.
My dad had it. I had it, and it was weird because it started in your back. You know, I guess it follows your central nervous system,
Yeah.
and it wraps around. And then I'm not kidding you. It was the strangest thing, Jim. Part of the right side of my midsection was numb,
Mhm.
literally numb
Yeah, it's very painful.
for about 5 days.
Yeah, it's
But
very painful.
my back, I couldn't even sleep on.
Yeah, it's very painful.
It was nasty.
I have an aunt that got it and didn't realize she had it and didn't do anything about it for a period of time, and she was miserable for months.
Yeah, it's very painful.
My
Okay?
dad had it. Cindy in the group said she had it. She was telling me about it, and then she told me about the numbness as well. And I looked at her and I went, "Yes, that's exactly what happened to me." But it is.
Well, I was
a
always
miserable.
I was always told if you never had chicken pox, you didn't have to worry about getting.
I did have chicken pox.
That's what I was always told. If you never had chicken pox, then you have to worry about getting shingles.
You do have to worry about it, or you do not.
Do not have to worry about it.
That's my impression too.
That's what I heard. So I never got a shot because I never had chicken pox.
Well, I have had it, the chicken pox, but
Oh, you
I've
did?
not had a single shot. And to be honest with you, that is one that I have debated.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You know what they give you to treat shingles?
Saf.
Valtrex,
Oh, Valtrex.
which is the same crap they give you for herpes.
Oh, wow.
So,
So treat
Well,
them both at the same time.
Well, is shingles nothing but a herpes
It is, it-
virus?
it is.
Okay, so that makes sense.
but it's funny though, because like you go to the drive-through at the pharmacy, it's like, here's your Valtrex, sir. What?
Where's the
Not me.
Where's the HIPAA law?
Oh, Jim, I'm teasing for Christ's sakes.
Oh, I thought you were
no,
serious.
no, I'm kidding.
Well, how the hell do I know you're kidding?
I'm kidding. I was teasing.
Oh, well. Now,
But I really did have shingles.
Can
But nobody, the pharmacist didn't come up to me and go, here's your Valtrex, sir. I hope those bumps go away soon.
now
North or south?
I gotta move off this subject one little bit here.
All
folks.
right.
I gotta go and I read this article about racism over the weekend.
Racism?
Yeah.
Where are we going? We're talking about
right, now,
schools and now
It was a school. It was a
herpes
high
and
school.
now we're talking
I'm
about
not sure where it was. All I know it was
racism.
Portland something. They didn't tell me the state
Yeah.
or the town. I guess it was Portland, but I don't know what state it was
Well,
in.
two I think of Portland, Maine.
Portland,
Oregon,
it's
yeah.
Portland something. So they were in the process of going before the school board to change their mascot because apparently it didn't fit in with everything.
Ah,
So they decided on an evergreen tree as their symbol for a mascot. Well, they went before the board to have it approved as a valid mascot for the school. Somebody's come up now and said that a tree is racist. And the reason why the tree is racist is because they use trees to hang people.
wow. Wow.
So now
That's a stretch.
they are waiting for the school board to make a decision to find out if they can use an evergreen tree as their mascot because somebody came up with that thought.
You know what? If you're looking for something, if you look hard enough, you'll find it.
I wish when I saw that and I read that, I'm saying, what the hell are we getting ourselves into? That means Maine is racist because the pine tree is Maine. That's their symbol. So
Maine canceled.
but I
All
had to share that story because I was totally shocked when I.
But there are quite a few weird mascot names. Okay, now these are I just looked it up. These are high school mascot names, and they're legit, real. In Avon, Connecticut, they have the Avon Old Farms Winged Beavers.
No.
Yep. See, canceled. How about the Polka High School, POCA? Do you know where that's going?
Pocahontas.
The polka dots. The polka dots.
Oh, the Polish ain't gonna like that.
Why? I'm Polish. How about the Hickman Cupies? Kewpies. It's a big baby. That's a David Henry Hickman High School. All right. How about this one? This one will really get your goat here. The Williamsport High School Millionaires.
Ooh.
The Millionaires.
Probably was it Williamsport, Virginia.
Either that or New
Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Millionaires, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Must be a bunch of Trumpians.
Ridgefield, Washington has the Ridgefield High School Spudders. S-U-P.
That's not good.
S-P-U-D-D-E-R-S.
That's not good.
No, why is that? Why is it not good?
Because people sputter.
No, not
Not
stutter.
Sputter.
Sputter.
I said stutter putter.
Does this come after does this come from the potato being called a
Yes.
spud?
Yes. In Water Smart, Michigan. That's a good one. They have the Water Smeet, excuse me. Water Smeet High School Nimrods. If you called someone a Nimrod, you might want to watch out. They probably would think it's a put down, unless if you attend Watersmeet High School, whose mascot is the Nimrods. Nimrod is a biblical name that means mighty hunter.
Really? I've heard
Here
people,
you go.
I've heard people call people you Nimrod.
Sure.
I've heard that before.
Let's see. How about in Hoopeston, Illinois? You have the Hoopeston area corn jerkers.
I can't have that.
Cancel.
No, can't have that.
Okay. Frankfort, Indiana.
Oh, boy.
Come on.
Hot dogs.
There you go. There you go.
Can't
The
have a hot
Frankfurt hot dogs.
Can't have a hot dog. Can have a dog without a hot dog.
In Chinook, Montana. Any guess?
No.
The Chinook Sugar Beaters.
Wow. Chinook sugar beaters, huh?
In Bloomington Prairie, Minnesota, they have the Bloomington Prairie Awesome Blossoms. That's not so bad.
That no orange blossoms.
Oh, but in New Berlin, Illinois, they got the New Berlin Pretzels. The pretzels.
Potato chips are going to get mad over that one.
But here's Illinois is really bad. Centralia, Illinois. The Centralia High School Orphans.
Oh, jeez.
The Orphans.
Oh, my God.
And to think I could have just continued on down to Home Depot and paid my bill rather than stopping here this morning. Jesus.
And here's the best one of yet, I think. It's in Yuma, Arizona, the Yuma High School Criminals. Now they even have an explanation. This mascot name traces it back to the origin to 1910 when a fire destroyed the school. Students were forced to meet at a closed prison with cell blocks as classrooms. Opposing teams began referring to the Yuma players as the Criminals, and the name just kind of stuck.
Yeah, I mean, there's logic behind it, but yeah, unbelievable.
There's another one from Illinois. Boy, Illinois is just screwed. Teutopolis High School, the Wooden Shoes.
It must be a Dutch group.
Yeah, maybe a bunch of cloggers.
Yeah.
How about Dubois High School in Dubois, Indiana? The Fighting Jeeps.
Nah, can't have Jeeps because now you got Ford Broncos are going to get mad over that.
Oh, God. I mean, canceled! Oh,
my God.
No, is there any I forgot?
I hope so.
In Montgomery, Alabama, the Sidney Lanier Poets.
Poets?
The Poets. Yeah. Did I say the Fisher High School one yet from Fisher, Illinois?
Yeah, you said it.
Did I? I didn't. The Bunnies.
Oh my God.
The Bunnies. How tough can you be? How macho can you be? I'm the high school quarterback for the Bunnies.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So there you go on your mascots, buddy.
There you go. Well, anyway.
There's more.
I just wanted to tell you about the evergreen tree.
How about in Cobden,
Why
Illinois?
did you have to bring that up?
I guess I made a mistake.
You did. He tried to shut you down, but you wouldn't let him.
No. How about Cobden, Illinois? The Cobden Apple Knockers.
Can't say apple knockers.
Sandy, Utah. Beet Diggers. Yeah. Let's see. The Cheesemakers. The Corn Jerkers. We saw that one. The Criminals. The Carbon High Dinos. The Polka Dots. We did that one.
Yeah, we did that one.
Let's see. The Effingham Flaming Hearts. These are all Illinois. Well,
Well, what do you expect from Illinois?
The Harrison Golden Goblins?
Oh, well.
The Fredonia Hillbillies.
I can't. That's an
That's
insult.
that's in Arkansas.
That's insulting. Jim's getting leaving.
I gotta go. I got things to do.
Jim's had enough.
We're done anyway, Jim.
Bye, Jim. When you leave, say hello to the Coalinga Horned Toads in Coalinga, California.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh well.
The Freeburg Midgets.
Can't say midgets.
Can't say midgets.
Little people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about midget orphans? Can you say that?
Nope.
No. Can't do that.
No.
The pretzels, I think that's hilarious.
Oh well.
The Heston Swathers. Oh, and of course, we cannot forget the New Brunfell High School Unicorns. And of course, the Brewer High Witches. There we go.
That could be mispronounced too.
So now you have racist mascots.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I couldn't believe it when they said that about the tree, because they use trees to hang people.
Mm-hmm. That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we covered some good stuff today. We covered some good ground talking about number one, the PI that was hired in Sterling to see if these kids should be going to Sterling School or Griswold School.
Right.
To me, I find that very interesting. I honestly do. The next one, well, of course, the special meeting or special town meeting tonight
Town meeting.
in the town of Plainfield. They want to do a line item swap for $108,000 for the Plainfield police communication upgrades. And the town of Griswold having another special meeting
Tomorrow.
for the cost overruns for $900,000. I think the personally, this is a personal opinion, is I think you get it done. I think you just do it, whether you're borrowing the money from your own surplus and paying it back over 5 years. We have a whole bunch of there's that
Stimulus money.
There's that stimulus money.
Yeah.
That came in. There's that, which would be a referendum, but then again, wouldn't be any kind of a tax increase.
Right.
Or do you just slap it all on the budget and have one more, a little more added on to the money and just maybe your taxes again. So I don't know. It's
Well, I think that getting back to the senior center, I think they were given an alternative to reduce the 900,000. They wanted to see it come down a couple $100,000.
sure.
I mean, I think that's what the intention of going through the line items was. What do you really need? What could we put off to later? What do you need to get the CO? So we'll see what they came up with.
And I think we have to also make sure we mention too is that the senior center staff is also saying, they are waiting for grants to come through yet. So, there's that as well. So I know Tina is working diligently, to get this done. You gotta remember too, she's very much she's a big proponent for the senior center, and of course Alzheimer's. And Tina has a very good heart. I've known her since I've been, since before I started the radio station. What have I found? She's very much the same person every single day. She's giving, she's caring. And I think character has a lot to do with how you conduct business and how people should be viewing you.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm a fan of Tina Falk. I certainly am. I think she has the best interest of this town in mind.
I agree.
Not just for herself or the seniors, but for the Griswold taxpayers as well.
Mhm.
She's a taxpayer too.
Absolutely.
Do you rightfully think that she wants her taxes
Of course
personally
not.
to go through the roof either? No.
No.
Of course not. So I guess you have to look at both sides. Well, I shouldn't even say both sides. How about all 5 sides? Because there are multiple sides to this. So
It'll be interesting to hear what they have to say tomorrow.
maybe Dana Bennett will be running around with her phone, doing it on Facebook. Dana, if you're listening or if you hear this after the fact, thank you for doing those. Yeah, and that's a rough job. I mean, she's ever so kind to be running around so people can hear it and stuff like that because, well, they don't want to hire anybody to actually do the meetings properly. Sorry for the jab. You got anything else, Lash?
No, I don't.
All right. All right, it's going to wrap it up for us here at SNSN for a Monday. We appreciate you stopping on by. Thank you to the people that went ahead and took advantage of our conversation and joined in. We always want your input. I mean, we need your input when you make comments into the group or send us text messages like Mr. Jewett City Al Gear, who will be back in town on Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I am clearing up my Friday so I can see Al. Because I miss that big Beluga. Let me tell you something. He's been gone for 6-7 months now. So we miss you, Al. And we'll be glad to see you on Friday. Gonna get him a cake.
Does he have to stay in quarantine?
I don't know. Screw that. I'm bringing him a cake.
Well, I'm just wondering. He's got to stay in quarantine. He's coming up from a different state.
Tomorrow, once again, Tuesday, it is Psychic Tuesday after 9 o'clock. We will have that here on the air for you with Lisa from the Lisa Susie from Crystal Visions. It's always fun to have Lisa here because you never know what she's going to say. She may drop some bombs or whatever, but Lisa's always fun to listen to, and that's every Tuesday at 9 a.m. I'll be on a little bit before that with some commentary. Hopefully you guys will join me and commentate with me because it's always great to have a conversation, but it's always better to have a conversation when there's somebody there that's talking with you.
That's true.
There you go. All right. So thanks a lot, everyone. We will see you once again tomorrow. Later on today, Phil Michelle is live from the Griswold Youth Center. That is at noon. And then Angela from 2 to 6 right here on SNSN. Have yourself a great day, everyone. And we will see you tomorrow.
Hello, no one is available.